welcome back to my channel. So in this video, it's actually not going to be animal related, but it's going to be about my succulents, which is another hobby of mine. And I'm going to be showing you guys how to propagate succulents, just like these. Oh, this one's in here so hard. Took a big chunk of dirt with it. But yeah, this one is about one month or 1.5 months, around that time. And it already has a pretty big, decent sized plant growing out of it. And it has actually a lot of roots. I might have actually ripped out some of its roots on accident. But yeah, so I'm going to be showing you guys how to grow succulents just like this by propagation. So yeah, let's just get into the video. Okay, so I'm going to be showing you guys this Echeveria Gray Red for the example in this video. Echeveria Gray Red. So let's just do that. There we go. So I got this actually at a local nursery. They also had a beautiful topsy-turvy, but I only wanted to pick one, so I just picked this one because it looks really healthy. Except, well, now some leaves are dying back here, but that's alright. That happens when this one's really big. It actually has a couple different plants on it. So first thing, before you actually take off the leaves, you want to have a healthy succulent. This one's very healthy. You don't want like all the leaves to look like this, because these just won't propagate, and even if they do, they won't really have a chance at life. So we want to have a healthy plant that looks similar to mine. I mean, healthier would even like be better, but this one's still really healthy. So before you actually propagate it, you want to make sure it is well watered and all the leaves feel nice and thick. You don't want any of them to feel like super dead and squishy, but ones that are really thick and nice. That's how you know you can like start to propagate them. Or some people like to water it like 2 to 3 days or 3 to 2 days before they actually take off the leaves, but I find that it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I just like to make sure that the leaves are nice and thick. They don't feel dead or anything. You can really just play it by feel, I feel like. So yeah. So now that you know when to actually take off the leaves, I'm going to show you how to take off the leaves. So I like picking the bigger leaves because I feel like they have more nutrients in them. Like if I take off this baby leaf that just came off, I don't know how well it would survive because it's so tiny and it still needs to develop a little bit more. So how you want to take it off, you don't want to just like rip it off, because that'll normally break the end right here, and you really need the whole entire leaf for it to work. So basically how I like to do it, so I just like to kind of go back and forth until it just comes off. There. That was a really clean cut, as you can see, and there was nothing left behind here. So let me do another one. You just kind of need to go back and forth. Some people like to go up and down. I feel it doesn't work as well though. Then it just pops right off. This one has, looks like, I'm not sure what that is. A little kind of got eaten away right here, but I think it should still be fine. I mean, even if the leaf looks really healthy, sometimes they just don't survive for some reason. So yeah, when you do propagate, I think it's best to get like 8 or 10 maybe leaves, so that they have a chance at survival, or you get at least some that propagate, because sometimes even if they're really healthy, they just don't propagate. So I'm going to be showing you with another leaf. You might need another hand to keep it stable. There. Just really easy. That's also how you know if it's healthy, if the leaves just come off right away, because if they're really stuck on there and they feel really dead, it's really hard to move them, and you just kind of know it's not very healthy. Okay, so for this demonstration, I got 4 leaves, and normally I would get around 10 to 15. Just depends on how many I want. But I just got 4 for the demonstration. Now I'm going to show you what we do next. Okay, so this next step is kind of debatable. Like some people Some people like to do it, some people don't, and it's just up to your choice. I don't really see a difference. But basically, some people leave the succulents just on a piece of paper towel or just something dry, just like this surface right here. Some people just leave them there for 2 to 3 days and just wait for them to callus over. So instead of these just being like kind of raw, I guess, since we just took them off, they would let it callus over until it's dry, and then basically from there it would just start growing roots. And it is true that they do need to callus over, but I personally, I kind of skip just letting them sit because it's just more things to do, and it doesn't actually, for me personally, it doesn't really help at all. It doesn't really do anything. So I just place them on dry cactus and succulent soil, just like this actually, but this one's wet. But I would just leave it dry and then just place these on it. And that's basically just what I would do, and skip the drying step because these will callus over when they're sitting like that. So I kind of just skipped the other step. I used to do that, but it just didn't work as well for me, and honestly it just takes way more time than needed, so I just skipped that step. Okay, so this is kind of the super dry soil that I have here, and I actually just put my little, oh, this one's growing roots, my little topsy-turvy plants here. I have I think it's Echeveria topsy-turvy, and I just placed it on this and letting them propagate. So the next step is getting your container for propagating. So basically this one is a tiny egg carton, and it used to have, this is like the lid of the egg carton, but it used to have like the rest of the egg carton like I have over there. It used to be that. It's just a tiny version, so I just took the top of it and thought it would work really well. It does have these little holes, but it doesn't really matter very much. Another option that you have, so you can basically just put dirt on anything that'll hold dirt and water, but I like to use these terracotta dishes. This was like $2. It's super cheap. Yeah, I just had an extra one laying around from Lemon. I think it was Lemon. Yeah, she doesn't use this one. She uses a smaller one. So I just had this laying around, and it works perfectly. They seem to be happy in it, so I just really use anything that'll work and anything that's cheap, because I mean, you can find an egg carton for super cheap. So I actually used a lid here from like a Tupperware, and it works great. So once you have that, you can really just put any kind of potting soil or dirt, because they're not really growing big roots yet, so it's not as important as when they're big plants. But I just still use the cactus and succulent potting soil because that's just what I have laying around. So, and then once you fill it up with the potting soil, I would do a little bit less than I did in here so that the water won't overflow when you water it, but then I would just lay all of these down. It doesn't really matter how you lay them down. And then after about 3 to 4 weeks, they will hopefully start growing roots. Some of them will just die off, but most of them will start growing roots. Some will be quicker than others, and different types of succulents will be faster than others. I found the Echeverias normally grow faster, and also the sedums, those also grow faster, but of course they're all different. So once you start actually seeing the roots, then I would water it, but before then I wouldn't water it at all. You can give them a little mist, like every other week. I give them a mist until they start growing roots, and once you see roots about like that big, like really tiny, you can just start watering them, and they'll just keep growing from there. These succulents are about a month old, I think exactly, and as you can see, some of them have tiny roots and some of them have big plants. So some of them have nothing, like this one. Yeah, it's just all totally different, random, but at the beginning it does take a long time, and I realized that. I gave up a couple of times, and then I was like, I'm just gonna be patient. So you just have to be like extremely patient, because the first couple of weeks or a month, it feels like forever, and you feel like you've been waiting for a year, but really not. I also have these that I just placed in here a couple of days ago. And then these ones are actually quite large. They're getting really big. They're from like 3 or 4 months ago, so they're getting quite large. I might move them to their own pots now, but these are good for right now. They actually, see this one, it's not growing too many roots, so I have to keep an eye on it to make sure it still works, still grows to be a big one. But yeah, these are all doing so great. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to like and subscribe down below, and comment if you have any questions or anything. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Bye!